What is up, everyone? Welcome to another Thursday training. So excited to be here with you. I know you're probably watching the replay if you're here this early, so give me a hashtag replay in the comments. I'm super curious to know how many of you watched the replay versus the live version. So give me a hashtag replay. I want to know if you're watching from the UK or from Australia. Want to send you so much love if you are. And for those of you who are starting to join, what is up? I'm so excited to give you access to all of my details for my launch. I want to break everything down. It was a $142,000 launch and just $580. So I want to tell you all the secrets. I want to tell you what I did, what went well, what didn't work, my mess ups, my mistakes, so that you can learn from it. And my commitment is that I'm super transparent with everything. So my commitment is that you learn from somebody who is like literally implementing the strategies that they are teaching themselves and that are applicable to businesses like yours. If you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you're launching something for the first time, if you're launching something for the fifth time, this can totally help you. So I'm super excited to be here. Hey Amber, what's up, lady? How are you? I'm gonna bring up here the video on my computer, my other computer. Hey April, what is up? So that I can see all your questions. So if you're gonna go into a launch or if you're thinking about it, I want you to ask me all the questions here in the comments because I really just want to answer anything and everything that you're wondering. Just drop it here and let's talk about it so that I can answer your questions. I'm also going to be doing interviews with my clients who have had 100K launches over the past couple of weeks, or some who are literally in the middle of their launches and they did it for the first time and they're already at 100K. So this works not just for me, it works for my clients too. And the same methods that I use, they're applying it. We fine-tune it to fit their brand, to fit their vibe, to fit their energy levels. And so this is not something that it's a worked once. I've used it for all of my launches. So I feel so confident in it. I love it. I love the process. I used to hate launching and now I'm just launches, yes. I just had to find a way to have fun with it. And I feel, and I figured it out. And so I want to share with all of you. All right. Hey, April. We have two Aprils, right? Yes. Hey, April. Aprils. Hey, Ivy. Hey, Julia. How are you, my love? So good. I love seeing you all here. Alrighty, so the first thing that I want to start by doing is I want to tell you the breakdown of how many clients. It was $142,000. What is the breakdown? So I had 13 clients during my mastermind, and my limit was 12. But there was one lady who was like, please let me in, please let me in, please let me in, please let me in, please. She just really wanted to be in, and she was just so ready. She paid in full, and she's like, I'm willing, I'm committed, let's go. And so I felt her determination, and so I decided to let her in. And the way my mastermind works is there are 2 groups of 6 people in each group. So that is a very intimate coaching call and we can really get to everyone's questions. So one group has 7, one group has 6, and it still works. So the breakdown was 13 clients in the mastermind, and the price of the mastermind goes between $7,200 to $11K. If you pay in full, you get a little bit of a discount. So that's the kind of price range. And on top of the 13 clients, I had 2 one-on-one clients that ended up signing up. So I just postponed their calls a little bit because my focus was in the mastermind, but they ended up booking calls within the last couple of weeks. And so they've joined from that launch. So that's what brought it up to $142,000 total. So I just wanted to give you that breakdown so that you know how many clients and you understand there wasn't actually that many clients that I had to sign. And this is one of the principles that I teach all of my clients. And what I specialize is not in helping you sell low ticket offers. I specialize in helping you sell higher ticket offers. And the reason for that is because really the launch process, you're still going to go through the motions of launching and the energy, the investment of energy and everything that you put into it, that it takes the same amount of energy to sell something that's $500 and something that is $10,000. And so I rather you make a lot of money in your launches than putting all the effort and not withdraw as much value as you can from all of your efforts. So that's the number of clients. If you have any questions about that, just let me know, because I know a lot of people are like, yeah, people have 100K launches, but they have all this ad spend and hundreds of clients and the retention rate, or they don't pay in full. And so I just wanted to clarify, just to tell you the transparency of what it looks like. So in terms of those clients, 80% of, so 10 people paid in full, 3 people are on payment plans. So most people paid in full, which is amazing. This is what I love about having a clear message that attracts the right people, that you get people, by the time that I talk to them on the phone, because my strategy includes having a sales call. I don't just do sales through a sales page and send people to a checkout. I really believe in connecting with the person, making sure that I can help them, making sure that they feel connected to me. I love sales calls, and my sales call process just like it's delicious. And so people come to me, and by the time that we talk on the phone, there's just been a lot of connection that I have built before we talk. And so I just want to make sure that like it is the right fit for both of us. So I love having that process where, you know, they come pre-motivated, pre-qualified, pre-excited, ready to say yes. And so 100% of the people that I made an offer to said yes. Every single person was like, yep. So I ended up selling the mastermind 2 weeks earlier than expected, because there was so much high demand and people were already so excited about it. So I want to tell you what I did during this live stream to create that much high demand and that deeper connection with all of my clients. And I truly believe that every single person who joined is like, I was like energetically connected to them and so in alignment with, like, I love them all. Like I don't make an offer to somebody that I don't feel like I can help or that I absolutely love. And so I rather just send them to somebody who maybe is a better fit. Every single person who applied, I had like a total of, I think at the end of the day, it was like 52 applications and I could only choose 13. So I started feeling the next round. So this is not just for me. One of my clients is going through the same thing. She got like way more applications than she expected. And now she's feeling her next round. All right, Alok says, hi, Juliana. P.S. How do you get your audio so good? This is one of my microphones, a microphone that my boyfriend bought. I don't know what the code is, but it's just this little microphone here. Big one, actually. Hey, Debbie, what's up? Okay, so let me tell you what else do I have in terms of breakdown. So it's 13 clients. Most of them paid in full. My 2 one-on-one clients, one of them paid in full, one didn't. So that's kind of like the breakdown. I didn't have any ads. I don't do ads. I used to do ads. I have a background in launch strategy. I used to do launches for some of the top names in the industry, like coaching, in the personal development space, like coaches. And this is like 6 years ago. And I remember feeling so drained and exhausted every time that I was running a launch for them. Like I had like 3 launches at the same time. It was it was like the hardest time ever when I first started doing that, when I was doing it, because I was just burned out and I hated launching. Like the word launching was just like, I would cringe. And we used to do a lot of ads. So we had a large team, like a designer, a developer, a copywriter, and then I was the launch manager. And then we had like I was the project manager of the launch. But there were just lots of people involved in the whole thing. And I was just like, oh, this feels so heavy and complicated, but I didn't know any other way. So that's why I created this, what I call the magnetic launch formula, or the magnetic launch strategy, which is what I do in my business, what I teach my clients, and we adapt it to their business so that they are not in this complex like overhead, like you need a team of like 5 people to help you with your launch, or you need like Facebook ads and you need to do all this testing and invest money in testing and in ads and all this bullshit and like Instagram ads, blah, 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 like none of that. Not that is wrong. I mean, I might give it a try next time, but that's not what I do. Like I'm all about organic connection, delivering an amazing amount of value to you guys, right? To my people, and just being generous and truly caring and truly helping people, and finding the balance on like how to strategically also set up an offer so that it makes sense for the people who are here in my community to be like, oh yeah, I would love some support with that, right? So it's a very natural transition, but I based everything on delivering amazing content and being strategic about how not to overteach, not overwhelm, not overly give, because that also is possible. I've done it. I've overly given to people, and then it's like, I already feel like I have what I need, or let me go and implement this, and then I'll check you out in the next launch. So I've learned how to do this, and it definitely is an art and a science. So, hey Corey, what's up? How are you? Love everyone who's joining. Hey Marina, hey Carla, how are you? Beautiful. Good to see you here. Okay. So 100% conversion rate, no burnout, no crazy team. So I'll tell you about my team. Is basic, like my business is super lean. I don't have an operations manager. I don't have a OBM. I don't have I just have an assistant who's amazing and super effective. I've created all the processes already, so she just executes in a very clean and simple plan. And then I show up and obviously I teach you guys the things. And then I had a copywriter help me with the launch copy. So we co-created the copy, right? And so it was just like a co-creative experience, and that was it. Like, I don't have anyone else in my team. For my coaching from inside of my programs, I do have two coaches who's helped me with my clients. So that's really all that it is. I don't have a crazy team of like a number of people, which I know a lot of people have, and like they have crazy overhead. I keep things very lean and very simple because I don't know, my business is very simple and not complicated. I don't do random pop-up things and designs here and there. I just like keep things very simple and easy to do. So either my assistant and I can just like create it super quickly. And I don't like overly create things. So I think that really helps me. And so my overhead is like, I basically get to keep all of the profit, all of the things, except obviously when I pay my assistant and I pay my copywriter. All right, miss your face too. Okay. Oh, Amber, nice to see you. Okay, so let me go deeper. So let me tell you about the things that I did that never worked. So I just mentioned overcomplicated funnels. I don't do that. I don't even have a funnel like for this. It's just a very simple process where I create an event. It's like essentially like a party. I decide that I want to have a party where I'm going to blow everyone's minds with a lot of amazing stuff that I'm going to show them and teach them. I'm going to have a lot of fun doing it. So I think about stuff that lights me up to teach that I'm super excited to talk about. So number one, I have to have fun with it. So I think about it as like, what's the most fun thing that I can do online? Like throw out a party and then just bring all my friends and like, let's all have the best time and let's make this not just be fun, but actually be super valuable and educational. And that's how I think about it. So I don't do crazy funnels or like sequences or anything. I just have what we call a conversion event, like an event. It could be like a challenge, it could be a webinar or whatever it is that you want to do, but that's essentially the strategy. You have a conversion event and then you have a number of like a sales period. So I don't do any crazy funnels or email sequences. I just like write sales posts and then email them to my list and send them to my group. Like, it's literally the simplest thing ever. Things that I used to do also that didn't work was just like winging it. Like, I know a lot of people maybe give me a 1 in their comment. If you've heard people say like, just planning your launches is like so overcomplicated. You should just like feel into it and wing it and just write what you want on the day. Give me a 1 in the comments if you ever heard that. Please tell me I'm not the only one that like, it's like, if you just want to launch, you just want to just relax and just like wing it. Maybe it works for some people, but I gotta tell you, if you are the kind of person that likes to just have a plan and feel really good about the plan and not feel reactive and not feel like you have to wake up every morning during your launch and be like, what do I want to say today? What do I want to do? What should I fucking do today? Oh my God, I just don't want to be in that reactive space. So what I also tried, because I used to be like an over planner with the funnels and stuff, and I was just like, maybe I'll do this. And like, I spent like maybe $10,000 in my first launch. This was 2016, and I did my first launch of an 8-week program about funnels, and I think I made like $4,000 all up on that launch, and I spent like 10K. Like, I was not profiting. Right now I don't have any crazy ad spend, I don't have any crazy stuff, and I always profit. Like, everything is a profit that I do. Everything that I do is always profitable. And so like complex stuff, like you spend so much money on all that stuff. Like, I just prefer not to. I could do funnels right now at this point because I definitely have the cash flow and everything, but like, I still just love the organic launch. So anyway, so no overcomplicated funnels and not winging it either, because I also went to the opposite scenario. Like, let's just like try and just wing it and like wait for the energy and the universe to provide. And it's like, you got to really work with the universe so that the universe can provide for you. You got to give it away for the things to flow in, right? Like, it can't just be let's just sit here and like hope people really see me and see my value. Like, no, you have, like, our job as entrepreneurs is to be clear about how we can help people, what problems we help them solve, and like make it abundantly clear that we're here to help them and how we're going to help them. So I don't wing it. I definitely didn't do ads because I used to like hide behind, like, I didn't want to like oversell it. I was like, I'll just let the ads do the work. Honey, if you're thinking that your ads can just sell for you, tell you, let me help you cut down that entire timeline. Like, ads are not going to do the selling for you. You have to show up. You don't have to. You get to show up and connect with your humans, connect with your people, deliver amazing value, be a leader, and like really sell from your heart. Like, the ads are not, like, if you're waiting for the ads to sell for you, like, you're going to spend a lot of money trying and it's not going to work, and you're going to feel like defeated on the ad side. So create an organic connection with people, and then you can shift into ads if you want to. That's just what my belief and what has worked for me. Maybe for some other people, it's worked differently. I'll just tell you what has worked for me. Corey says 1 and Emily says 1. Hell yes, you guys, you get me, huh? Okay, Padma says love it. Okay. So those were the things that I used to do before creating this magnetic launch formula. So now that I told you things that never worked for me, and that things that didn't work, I want to tell you about what has worked. So what is this magnetic launch formula that I talk about, or magnetic launch strategy? So I want to tell you about like what the strategy is, but also my mindset around it, because truly, like, I can give the strategy to all of you, but if you don't have the right mindset to go with it, it's never going to work. So the number one thing that I love is, as I said before, like, it has to be something where I get to have fun and I get to deliver an amazing container for everyone, just to kind of like be like, hey, like, I just really feel like it's like a party. Like, if you don't have fun throughout your launch, you're going to dread the results. You're going to be like hating it. And so as much as you can, I plan in advance. So I give myself like 2 to 3 weeks to plan and make sure that I know, like, feel into what I want to do. Do I want to do a 5-day challenge? Do I want to do a 3-day challenge? Do I want to do a webinar? Do I want to do whatever? And normally I just love doing like multi-day experiences, because it feels more spacious to me. It feels like I have so much to tell you, so much to teach you, so much to give you, that I'm like, one day, one webinar just doesn't feel like it fits my vibe. But maybe it fits yours. Maybe you're like, I totally would love to do a 1-day masterclass. I've helped my clients do one like those, and that works for them. So for me, I had to decide, like, what is the thing that I love most, and go with that. A challenge just felt so good, and they always feel so good. So that's what I did, right? And just FYI, I want to tell you that every time that I've implemented this formula, I have done a 5-day challenge. And I never, like, I used to do challenges in the past, like people teach challenges, and it was just like such a superficial way to deliver value that I was like, I don't want to do challenges like that, because like I literally feel like this is so basic. Like, I just didn't feel like there was a lot of value. And so I decided to create like my own way to do a challenge, and make sure that it is like is setting up an offer. And that's what I've been doing. So for the last 3 launches, I have implemented the same strategy. And my first launch was 50K. My second launch was 100K. And now this one's 142. So just so that you see the transition, it's not that I just went straight into 142. Like, my first one was 50K, and I think I had like 7 students and 1 one-on-one client. So anyway, moving forward to what the launch plan is. So my mindset around it is I plan ahead of time. So I give myself a couple of weeks, and it just depends. Like, is that what you want to do? I always just love having spaciousness, because sometimes we don't think this is going to take that much effort or that much work. And then when you really look at the things that are needed, it takes time. And I just don't like to be working until midnight. I don't do that shit. Like, I work 7 hours a day, or sometimes 6 hours, sometimes 8 hours. Like, that's just my average, right? 3 days a week I coach, and for 2 days I plan. So only 2 days a week I plan my launch, because those are the days that I work in my business. And that's like, I have to get everything that we need those 2 days for, whenever I start the launch. So I basically give myself 3 weeks to plan, feel really spacious, and plan way ahead of time. So this time with my copywriter, we literally started planning like a month before, just to have everything like flow so easily. And I felt super relaxed the whole time. I was super excited, and I was like, I feel good and I feel super ready. That's just how I like to feel. Some of you operate in like, I don't know, like the more like in the moment, like winging it kind of vibe. You could also apply the same method, but like, that's just not how I operate. I'm like a bit of a planner, which that's just my vibe. So that's like one of the things. So that's my mindset. I love planning ahead of time and knowing exactly what I'm going to be doing. And that feels really good to me, right? So I just wake up and just do the thing on the day of the launch. I don't have to think about, like, on day 1 of the challenge, what am I going to teach on day 2, or on day 3 of the challenge? should I offer something today or should I not? Like, when am I going to write a sales post? Do I have to write a sales post today? Like, like none of that. That just creates so much anxiety for me. So I recommend that you plan ahead of time if you feel like you don't work really well under pressure. I don't. Okay, so in terms of a mindset, before I kind of get into the strategy, I want to tell you that like some of the things I feel like were different about this launch is that I really believe that this was going to be a sold out launch. And even though COVID was happening, like I was, when COVID hit, I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to raise the price for this launch. I'm going to keep the same prices as I had for my, start of the year launch. I'm going to keep the same prices. I'm not like, it literally crossed my mind. And I was just like, wait, what? What is that? And I started just catching that thought, and I just like started coaching myself through it, because I'm like, why wouldn't I raise my price? And this is for all of you, whether you're in a launch or not, and you're allowing COVID or whatever circumstances in the world dictate whether you want to raise your prices or not. When you know in your heart that the value of your offer is so much more, that you have wanted to raise your prices, but you're like, oh, I don't know. I so recommend that you really coach yourself on that. And I question that, because I raised my prices and 80% of people paid in full. How can you explain that? How can you explain that? Like, imagine if I hadn't raised my prices, I would have stayed like in the belief like, oh no, people are struggling. Like they're not ready. They're not, you know what I mean? It's just like, that's just an optional thought. I had to really look at what is actually true. The truth for me is that I decided to believe that my program is the Rolls Royce of my niche, that my program is the Rolls Royce of marketing. I truly believe that. I feel like it's the best program ever, and I feel like I'm undercharging for it even still. I feel like people get so much value and so much transformation that I'm like, it's totally a no-brainer. And so I raised my price, and people still decided to join. And so I want to give you that perspective, that if you're struggling a little bit with raising your prices, I really want you to look at like what do you need to believe about your offer in order for you to feel super confident in your price. And if you want to raise your prices, look for what is the lifetime value that people are going to get from this offer. Like I always think about it that way. Yes, it is a 3-month program, but from like what people learn from my 3-month program is going to change their businesses forever. It's going to make them so much more than what they're paying me. Every single person makes their money back, whether it's within the 3 months or later, but they do. And so it's not just about the 3 months, but it's about the lifetime value that the program brings to people. And so I just really got super grounded in that. And that was one of the mindset things that were like holding me back a little bit before the launch started when COVID hit. And I was like, and then it just like, I totally coach myself through it. So if you have a coach, get coached on raising your prices, or coach yourself. Hey, Sylvia, what's up, lady? All right, let's see what we have. So that's I have so much more in terms of mindset that happened throughout, but that's kind of like in the mindset in the beginning for me is like plan ahead of time, honor my word, honor my plan, and believe in my clients. Oh, and the last thing that I wanted to share that I did differently in the prepping phase is I started energetically connecting with all my clients. I was like, this is a sold out launch. I know it. I for sure know it. And I know that there are 12 people out there who are the perfect fit for me. And I just started like connecting with them every morning. I'm like, I can't wait. Like, it just felt like I was already energetically connected to them. I would like say good morning. I would say like, when I would be writing posts, I would be like, I can't wait for you to join. Like I would just feel connected. And yeah, it's just like there was this string that I was like, sending out, and I feel like I was energetically calling in my clients. And I just reflected on like who I wanted to, like, I imagined people out there that were just like, yep. And I didn't worry about who was engaging with me before the launch and the pre-phase, like anything, because what I've learned, and this is for all of you, like if you're tuned out, wait, come back. What I'm going to tell you is really important. Okay. What I have learned in all of the years that I have been coaching and selling high ticket offers like crazy is that the people that buy are not the people who engage for the most part. 90%, maybe 80% of my buyers have never engaged with me or engaged here and there. They watch me, and then when I get their applications, I'm like, who are you? I think to myself, I'm like, wait, what? And then the people that engage the most in my live streams or comments or whatever, like, maybe 20% of them actually end up buying. And so I have learned that that people don't engage. The buyers don't engage, but you can't wait to show up just because of the engagement. Like, even if you get no engagement in your content or in your launch or whatever, you have to show up as if 100 people were watching, because they are. Like, they're probably just watching the replay. They're probably just here watching the live stream, but not really engaging. That's okay. I don't fucking engage with anyone that I watch the live streams. I'm not like typing comments. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So it's so important to not let the circumstances dictate how you feel or what you do. I showed up in the launch as if like 100 people were going to buy from me, because I know 100 of them will probably buy from me at some point. Like, I know there are 100, like, so many clients that I can wait to work with, whether it's now or later. I'm like not attached to it, but you want to show up with that energy of confidence. Like, I just built so much confidence around my program, what I know I can do for people. And like with that energy of like, oh my God, I cannot wait to work with you. And I'm totally unattached if you're ready like now or later. But I know that there are 13 people out there that totally want this. That was it. That's all. Like, I was just like super already, like I already knew it was a sold out launch. You know what I mean? And I've done that every single time. This is not something that I had to wait to get evidence for. I literally show up to all my launches like, of course I'm going to get the number. Doesn't mean that I don't have doubts. It doesn't mean that I don't like, oh wait, no applications today. Doesn't mean that I'm like, that I'm all like the evidence matches my belief. It just means that even when there are launch gaps, I still do the work to believe. I'm still like, I 100% believe it is. And if it's not a sold out launch, I'm like, great, the next one's going to be a sold out launch. All good. Makes sense? Lurkers who pay. This is Emily. Hello, Emily. Emily knows facts. Emily's one of my clients from the mastermind. She's one of my VIP clients. You've been engaging. You engage with me, so you're one of the ones that engages and buys, but most people don't. Most people just lurk and then pay later, you know? I'm totally cool with that. It's totally fine. Okay, so those are like energetically or mindset things that I did, or how I set myself up for success. Now I want to tell you about like things that you need, like in terms of the strategy, things that I recommend that you all have before you launch. So number one, as I said, I love creating a really fun experience. So decide that you want to create an experience, whether it's a challenge, whether it's something. It can be anything. Like I've helped clients literally just do like just one live stream or like a series of live streams. It doesn't even have to be a challenge, but it has to be something that you're like, ooh, that feels fun. Not something that you're like, I hate this, because you're gonna hate it the whole time. So you need a strategy that you feel really good about, that that scares you. That's like, oh God, I'm gonna be on video, or I'm gonna be writing. Like, it's okay if it scares you, but it has to be something that you feel like you want to do. The second thing is make sure you have a warm audience. So I wouldn't recommend that you launch if you just kind of been like MIA from social media. I always just love, this is why it's so important to consistently connect with your audience. Like, I do it every single day, not like multiple times, but like I do show up like every day. And I recommend you do, even if you start 3 times a day, but make sure you're showing up consistently and create connection with your audience. Just imagine it. We don't just want to be in our cave, in the room office, creating a program thinking is amazing, but not connecting with people, because if you come out and launch without a warm audience, you're setting yourself up for failure. So I do believe that it is important to have a warm audience, people that you've connected with, that you've been delivering value to. It doesn't have to be a group. It can just be your Instagram page or your Facebook people. Like, you don't even have to have a group. I did have a group because I've had this group for a while, for like, I think like a year now. And so there you go. But last time I did, a year ago when I did my first launch, I think that there were like 300 people in it. So, there weren't that many people. All right, so that's the thing you need. Let's see. I have a clean and simple offer. So one of the things that I recommend that you make sure you work on before you launch is like, what is the outcome of your offer? We talked about that last week. What is the promise of your offer? And be really clear about that, and be super clear about who you want to help, because that's what's going to help you create the rest of the strategy, like all the content for it. And in terms of content, I seriously just do like simple posts. Like, my strategy is not crazy. Of course, there's science behind it. And if you want to have a sold out launch, come and work with me and we'll get you sold out, because that's exactly what I do. I will teach you the entire magnetic launch strategy, and we can adapt it to your specific business, your vibe, your offer, your everything. We'll do like entire offer audit, everything. I don't have spots for the mastermind. We start on September, the next one, but I do have one-on-one spots coming up. So if you're the kind of coach or consultant who already has, let's just say, a group, or you already have like a warm audience that you totally feel like you could put them in a group, and you're like, I know I have this offer, I've sold it before, or I haven't even sold it before, but I would love to have it be sold out, like, I can help you. So send me a message, because literally all my clients continue to have sold out offers. So I think I can help you, trust me. So have a clean and simple offer, so that know who you help, so that you can create the post and the content. Like, have the foundations ready. Make sure you have an offer that you love, that you know what is the outcome that people are going to experience, because that's going to make your posts be super clear about what's the result. So make sure you know what the result is that you promise your clients, and give yourself enough spaciousness to sell. So time, I recommend you give yourself time. So there are different launch strategies people teach, and I'll tell you what mine is. So some people are like, like have your cart open for 10 days or 8 days. Mine is different. My entire launch strategy takes a whole, I think 6 weeks, 6 to 7 weeks, from the moment that you start like seeding the idea, and that to the moment that you start your program. So the reason why I love doing that, not that you're selling the whole time, right? Like, you only sell between 3 to 4 weeks if you want to. It just depends what you need. But I love having space. I don't want to be rushed. I don't want to be stressed. I don't want to be like, okay, the car closes today. Oh my God, you guys, you gotta buy today. Oh my God, I only have 5 days left. Oh my God, I just feel so exhausting to be like in that pressure. I just like to have spaciousness. So when I sell, I do my challenge, whatever, and then I give myself 4 weeks to fill it. And I'm like, because I have to book calls with people, sales calls, and I got a coach. It's not that I got it, but you know what I mean? Like, I get to coach my clients. So I have a business that's running, right? I can't just rush. I don't like rushing. I don't like this crazy, stressy BS vibe about launching. Just like, let's just take it easy. Let's go. I'd rather have a sold out launch than have a short launch and just be stressed and not sell it out, right? So give yourself time and space, and plan ahead of time. Truly, this is just what I would recommend for all of you, because you don't know what it takes to launch. And when you are in the middle of launching, if let's just say you don't work with me, or you don't work with somebody who can help you, if you don't plan ahead, you're going to be like, oh, there was so much more involved in this that I didn't know. And if you don't have enough time, you're going to be rushing. Okay. All right. And let's see. So in terms of strategy, I wrote down how to create high demand. Why can't I see the rest? Okay. How to create high demand. Okay, how to create high demand. So in terms of the strategy, here's how I love creating high demand. Because you guys, my clients literally paid in full. Everybody said yes. I closed the cart 2 weeks early. People sold out. So the way that I create high demand is, number one, by having a super clear offer and speaking to a desired result that people want. And in my launch plan, I create like a lot of buzz around what I'm about to do. It's like, imagine that you're throwing a party and you're inviting people to the party, and like people want to come to this exclusive party. That's the vibe. Like, that's the vibe you want. It's like, listen, this is going to be the best party ever. It's not just going to be like in the corner of the house, like in the block corner, like a block party. No, this is going to be an exclusive, delicious, amazing, super fun party. That's how I like to see it. And I start warming up people to come to my party. And then when people are at the party, I just give them the most amazing experience. And then I give myself time to then enroll them into this amazing offer that makes total sense for them after they've kind of been to the party. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. But like, really, that is the flow. You don't want to just come out of the gate or not, or like just do sales post and be like, I have an idea for an offer, and just be like, okay, I'm just gonna sell it, like, and fill this group program with just sales posts. You could totally, but I just like to not rely on just sales post. I like to just have the whole vibe help me. I like to have my energy be out there. I like to just have more things that are not more things, but I like to have not rely on just like one post to sell. You know what I mean? I like to just give myself enough time and space, and for people to feel comfortable with me, to get to know me. And like, that's just, it just works. So you got to be patient, because if you're wanting just to sell something within like a week, like that's not the process that I teach, or not the process that I have ever seen work for me, at least. And so give yourself enough time and space. It's okay if you take a couple of weeks, but like, think about it. Like for me, I plan 3 launches a year, and like, I know that that's going to be like, I know, and I can predict my revenue, right? If I know I'm going to have 140K launches 3 times a year, I'm happy being patient. I'm cool. Like, I love taking like time and space, right? Like, you don't have to rush. So that's the next thing. Launching doesn't have to be exhausting and pressury. If you just give yourself enough time to plan and execute, it can literally just be like, you can take totally your weekends off. You can just relax into the process. All right. And then I wrote down creating high demand. When you talk about your offer, ooze confidence. I already said this, right? Like, you want to come at all times, even if you're not launching, at all times. Think about it. You want to talk about your offer like it's the most amazing thing that can, like the most delicious and exciting and amazing thing that your ideal clients can come and experience, because it's the truth, right? It's like, you have to come. You don't have to, but like, I come from this energy because I know that is the truth, right? And it's not, I didn't always believe that. Like my first launch, I was like, I don't know. I just don't know. Like, I was like, it was so hard for me to believe that I was going to be the best offer ever. But I worked through that. I worked through it. And I decided to choose to believe that this was an offer that was going to help people, right? So if you're watching this and you're like, Juliana, but your offer, everybody knows about it already, is easy. I wasn't there before. A year ago, I was like, I don't know. Are people going to buy it? What if not? And you know what I had to do? I had to start from the beginning. I had to think about like, can this offer help one person? And if I, like, yes, 100%. Am I willing to show up for that one person? Even if I only get 3 people, would I be okay? Or 1 person? Even if I get no people, how would I want to choose to feel about that process? And then I just decided that it was just going to be so valuable for me to go through the process of showing up and serving my clients. Worst case scenario, they get a lot of amazing value and I get to learn from the experience of launching, and then I can just try again, right? And I started just choosing what I wanted to believe about that offer. I had such a belief around like, what if people join and hate it? Like, truly, this was like one of the biggest blocks. What if they join and hate it? What if they want a refund? Or what if like they don't love it? And I didn't think that they would want a refund, but I was like, what if they just don't love it? And that stopped me for so long from showing up. And I was like, and I was like, well, some people are not gonna like it. What if some people don't like it? Okay, that's okay. If 10 people like it and 2 don't like it, it's okay. Like, I'm gonna work with those 2 people and see how I can make it better. Like, I can always do that. I can support those 2 people deeper if I need to. You want to start thinking that way about what you offer, because yes, there might be one person who's like, nah, not into it. Cool. Like, how do you want to show up in that moment? Because it might happen. It would luckily none of that has come true. All of my clients are like delighted, but it was a fear that never came true that totally stopped me for the longest time. So make sure that you're like, okay, some people might not like it, so how am I going to show up for those? Or how can I make sure that I check in with clients throughout to make sure they're having a great experience, right? Don't let those thoughts about what if that happens stop you from doing it, because most of the times it just never happens. Evie? Is it Evie or Evi? Says, that's powerful. Amber Rosell says, decided to choose to believe. Love that. Yeah, I mean, literally, like for all of your offers right now, whether it's $97 or whether it's $22,000, like you just get to decide that you are always going to be I feel so confident in my offer because I just feel like I can always support my client. I can always pick up the phone and call them. If they're having a hard time, I can be like, hey, so what's going on? Tell me. Let's work this out. How can I help you? What is unclear about it? Let's see how we can make it work for you. I want you to get the best out of your, like, you know what I mean? Like, there are always ways to avoid this, like, doom and gloom scenarios that we think are real. It's like, wait, logically, it feels like it's super scary, but then you think about it and it's like, oh, I can totally fix that, right? So super, super important to feel really confident about your offer. And then I wrote down creating high demand. Show up for the people that won't buy with so much confidence. So basically the same thing, right? Like, don't wait for the people who, like, don't wait for the comments and for the likes to show up like you already had a sold out launch. Like, go into your launches being like, this is a sold out launch. I'm so excited. I can't wait to show up so big. This is going to be so much fun. It's already sold out. So I'm just this is just what it looks like to sell out the launch. You know what I mean? Like, I always think about it. Like, and I tell my clients, when you're in the middle of a launch and you're like, maybe you're not seeing the results you want and applications are not coming in, because there's always like a launch dip. And I've talked about this before. If you haven't watched my live streams on launches, like, go back, watch them when I've done the other launches and done the evaluation. But this is a thing that happens. Sometimes there are like launch dips, meaning you open the cart, everybody comes in, or some people come in, and then maybe a week later is like crickets. Like, nobody's responding to posts. I don't know. It's like launch dip, right? Like, no, whatever. I don't know what it is. Don't ask me. It just happens. I've done enough launches to know this. Most people give up. I used to give up my first launch ever. I gave up. I was like, oh my God, no one's replying. Obviously, this is a failed launch. I'm not even going to finish it. And I just didn't even close the card and I just stopped and just left it. And that is so interesting because I've learned that it's normal to have the launch dip and then continue selling. You have to continue showing up until the end. And then I guarantee that people will buy at the very end. This happened to my client, Caitlin. She was like, she got some people in the beginning and then she's like, okay, I'm like 7 short and like I have like a week left. I'm like, yeah, it's part of it. How are you going to choose to show up? Like, if you look back and think like from the future, think about you having a sold out launch and look back to today. How did you show up today? How did you show up in that last week of your launch? What did you do? What energy were you in? How were you choosing to think about this gap or this dip? And from there, like, you know, we adjusted her strategy, for example, and like she's oversold her launch. I'm going to be interviewing her. She oversold her launch. Like, what? But you know why? Because we have to show up until the end. We have to believe hard all the way throughout. And then that's when we get the results. It's not like, is it sold out yet? Because day one, why isn't it sold out? Juliana sold out her launch in the first 2 weeks. Like, why not me? Don't have that mindset, like, at all. Like, don't be greedy. Because your process is going to look very different. So many, like, I don't know, 5 launches. It's like gaps. There have been gaps. I'm like, why aren't people applying? Curious. But then I get curious and then I coach myself. I'm like, ooh, I wonder what haven't I said? Or what else could I do? What creative ideas could I have? And I'm in the curiosity energy, not in the like, fuck, I failed, or oh my God, nobody likes this. I'm in the curiosity space. I'm in the openness space. I'm like, what can I do differently? What could be exciting? What could be like, who can I reach out to? What conversations can I spark? Like, where can I think? What else can I do and think about to really make it easy for people to say yes? That's the productive way of thinking about it, not like being in scarcity about your results. Like, trust me, this is the best advice anyone could ever give you about launching. More than the details and the strategy, trust me, this is what's going to get you sold out. This mindset. Like, it's a sold out launch, of course. How did I show up? I believe hard. How can I be creative? How can I stay in curiosity? Like, so important, you guys. This is everything. This is literally what I have, like, all of years of launching. I can tell you that this is the main thing that helps me just with it. Okay. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Alok says, what is the fastest path to get super confident in your offer? The fastest path to get super confident in your offer is to, number one, be the product of your own product. Like, I feel like I embody everything I teach. So whatever you teach, whatever you sell, like, become the product of that. And in the process, start, helping people through your offer so that you can adjust it and like, practice it and look at what are the things that you want to change or add. Like, your offer is not going to get better just by looking at it on a piece of paper. You're not going to get confident about your offer just by looking at it on a piece of paper and see if the modules are right. I did this for the longest time, for like 6 months. I'm like, wait, I need to wait until I have the perfect offer. So let me just overthink it and over perfect it, and let me just map it out perfectly. And like, I just realized after a long time, I'm like, wait a minute, I need to get humans through this. I need to actually have humans go through this so that I know if this is the offer that I like, so that I can know that it works, right? And so my recommendation is be the product of your own product. Like, take yourself through your own process, be the embodiment of your own work. And while you do that, get people through it, like get clients through it. Like, you don't have to have a perfectly, a perfect methodology like what I help my clients create. You don't even need that in order to sell or to be fully booked with clients. You just need to make offers, like let people know that you can help them, and then help them. That's how you're going to feel confident in your offer. There's no other way. Trust me, there's no other way. Give me any other questions you guys have, but let me just see the final thoughts. Okay, so final thoughts as it relates to you. Like, I want to give you more of my thinking behind this last launch. Like, one of the things that you eventually might get to, or that maybe you can apply right now, is thinking about like how do you want to feel throughout the whole process? How do you want your clients to see you throughout this process? Like, imagine that you had a little camera, like, watching you throughout the launch, right? And I'm like, my clients are going to go through this process, or maybe for you, if you're a mindset coach, right? And you help people with their mindset, or maybe you help people with their health or whatever. Like, how do you want to carry yourself through that time? Because that is what gets you to apply your own tools in the process. So for example, day 2 of my challenge, I was a hot mess. I was like, oh my God, I didn't do a good job. I was just like not happy with my delivery. I thought that I wasn't a great teacher. I was like, I didn't quite explain that correctly. I didn't all these things. And, I had to put myself through my tools. I'm like, is that true? And I gave myself like an hour, maybe 3 hours to be like freaked out for that night. I was like, I don't know if I did a good job. And I'm like, this challenge is over. People are going to hate it. Bye. Like, totally done. Like, not my best launch ever. And like, I let my brain go there. And then I was like, all right, so you have 3 days left. How do you want to show up? What do you want to believe about the rest of the days? Like, what is true about you? What is true about what you can help, what you can do? What is true about your clients? Is it true that they thought that it was terrible? No, everybody was like, wow, day 2 was amazing. Oh my God, this was great. Meanwhile, I was like, oh my God, this was the worst teaching live stream I've ever done in my life. And so it's so important that you understand that there's going to be launch like moments where you're like, I don't think this is going well. Babe, let's just give up. Allow for all of that to be part of the picture, because that is how you get to the end, by welcoming all of it, not by trying to have it all be perfect. And so in those moments when you feel a little crazy, when you're like, I'm done, this is not working, imagine there's a little camera, right? Like, imagine Oprah's watching. Be like, how would I want to show up in this moment? How would I want to show up for myself, for my clients? Your clients will be watching I don't know, someone that like will get you to kind of get your shit together again, and remember who the fuck you are. Remember what you're capable of. Remember why you're doing this. Remember the truth about what you can do, and just get back in the game. Because being in pity and like all the stuff that we kind of get in ourselves, like in our head, it's not going to get you to the end of your sold out launch. So that's the last thing I wanted to say. Remember who you are when things aren't working out. Remember the truth of what you're capable of. Even if the evidence isn't there, be like, who am I? I was born to do this. I know this is my jam. I know I can totally do this. Whether 10 people or 1 person signs up, I'm going to follow through with the whole thing, because I'm going to do it for me. I'm going to do it because I know this is my life's work anyway. And that's what I'm committed to do. This is like the energy that I bring to everything. Even when things are not working, I'm like, totally cool. Like, I have my own back always, and I recommend you do. That's the last thing I wanted to say. Alrighty, loves. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. But what I wanted to tell you is, if you are looking to get yourself sold out on your launch, if you're like, Juliana, how do you do it? How do you, like, a lot of people have messaged me and they're like, what can I do to get myself the results that your clients get? I'm like, apply to work with me. So go ahead. I'm going to drop the link in the comments for you to apply. So I have 2 spots available for July if you want to work with me one-on-one. This is the last year I'm going to be working with people one-on-one, by the way. Or I'm going to cut down my one-on-one a lot next year because like I'm fully booked all of the time, and I'm looking just to, like, my next year is going to be like really scaling my group program. So if you've ever wanted to work with me one-on-one, go ahead and apply. I'll drop the link in the comments. Or if you're watching the replay and you open this email tomorrow, like, go and apply, because I have 2 spots left for July, and I would love to dive into your business and see if I can help you with this. Ideally, you don't have to have a huge audience or a Facebook group. If you do, we can totally sell out your offer. But if you don't, still apply, and maybe we can explore, fill out the questions, and then I'll let you know if maybe it could be a good fit. Corey says, thank you for your work and energy. Love the compassion and support. Yay! Oh, your energy of love and compassion and support. Of course, this is why you're here. If you just joined recently, this is what I'm going to give you all forever in this group. Alrighty. And other than that, I hope that all of this was helpful. Let me know what your takeaways were. And if you have any other questions, yes, I'm going to interview. That's the last thing. I'm going to interview my one-on-one clients and my mastermind and one-on-one clients who've had sold out launches. They're going to tell you all of their secrets. Theirs was a little bit different in their mind. They had different circumstances. Some of them, while literally COVID was like literally in the middle, like happening. Others, like when the whole George Floyd thing started to happen, and they were like, whoa, I can't sell right now. What do I do? And so we'll tell you everything they did behind the scenes and how it all flowed so that you can learn. All right. Sending you all so much love. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys next Thursday with another Facebook live training. Mwah. Bye.